Today we're talking about Valkyrie Elysium, a game that was released with sky-high expectations, and then face-planted straight into Ragnarok. That is because it's based off of a series that is a cult classic, an RPG series that is loved by most RPG enthusiasts, as one of the most unique games ever made. But what if you do like Square Enix has done in the last decade, and make something amazing, generic and dog shit? That's how you get today's video. Valkyrie Elysium released September 29th, 2022, developed by Soleil and published by Square Enix. Valkyrie Elysium is based off the Valkyrie Profile franchise. Valkyrie Profile was created by Miyazaki Norimoto. Norimoto, after seeing Valkyrie Elysium, commented on it by saying he acknowledged Elysium as a spin-off. This surprisingly reminds me a lot of Silent Hill Homecoming.
When this game was first announced, it was called, I believe, Silent Hill.
It was released as it was originally announced as Silent Hill 5 is being developed by who made this?
Double Helix.
Double Helix, by Double Helix. And everyone, oh my god, this is gonna be the worst. And then at some point, it just changed from Silent Hill 5 into Homecoming.
And then when people saw that, they're like, okay,
well, this is doomed. This is doomed. Quote, "The entire development process can be summed up in the action of renaming it. They strutted in the room cocksure with brass balls shouting, 'Silent Hill 5, motherfucker!' Stopped, opened their eyeballs, and immediately whimpered back out the door, flaccid, whispering Homecoming." It doesn't inspire confidence. I don't like it.
This feels like Square Enix deliberately chose Valkyrie Profile as a low-risk, cheap nostalgia bait game that they had the hopes of it becoming a high-value game, bringing in loads of money. That's why Square Enix got Soleil Ltd to make the game, because they're a smaller, cheaper studio, instead of having original creators Tri-Ace create the sequel. That's probably why it became a spin-off, because the moment you play it, you know it's not a Valkyrie Profile game. A lot of this is my speculation because there's not much information online about the development of the game. But I can make assumptions off the things I've read online and Square Enix's previous mess-ups. Just look at games like Babylon Falls and Forspoken. And those are some of the more successful games Square Enix has butchered in the last decade. Now, to be fair, Soleil aren't exactly bad game developers. But in good old Square Enix fashion, they got the wrong team to make the wrong game. Soleil is known for action-oriented titles like Shinobi Striker and Samurai Jack Battle Through Time. Good games, but not RPGs. They even got Motai Sakuraba, a longtime composer from the Valkyrie franchise, to return to do the soundtrack for Elysium. But even that couldn't make the game good. As this video goes on, we're going to discuss why this game failed, but the biggest reason why is because they took one of the most unique JRPGs ever created and made it a generic action slop game. Okay, action slop's a little mean, but we'll get into it. Let's start with the horrible story and world building. I'll just put it bluntly, it's thin, underdeveloped, and barely present. It has the framework of a well-written story that you could utilize for a JRPG, but with none of the depth of a good, well-written RPG story. Unlike most JRPG games, the story is seen as an afterthought, instead of the main focus. Valkyrie Profile was known for its incredible storytelling, with each and every one of your party members having an emotional, heavy story going into the details of their lives, their realities, and their tragic fates, and why a Valkyrie would come to collect their valiant souls, to become her noble Onherion, powerful warriors that would fight alongside her to stop Ragnarok. Elysium wants to explore the philosophical themes about creation, destruction, identity, and loyalty. But when I don't even care about the main party's names, that's a problem. I basically know them as Soldier with lightning abilities and the Sorceress with fire staff. And is that a fucking paladin in my Norse mythology game? And then the level design. This is one of the most empty games I've ever seen. Yes, it takes place during Ragnarok, the apocalypse, Most people are supposed to be dead, but none of these places feel lived in at all. Every single post-apocalyptic game or movie you've seen does a better job of making the world feel lived in. I don't see furniture. I just see empty buildings. They don't even have fucking doors. You don't even really see or feel the destruction that these demons would cause. And it doesn't help that it feels like they're using assets from another game that has nothing to do with Norse mythology. I genuinely don't think most of this fits with Norse themes at all. It feels like most of it is medieval European 16th century bullshit. Not Viking shit. Except for this one map that they reuse a couple of times where you recruit a paladin in an old Viking village. And something about the character models just feels off. This is one of those games where the uncanny valley is present at all times. They don't look like they belong in the world that they're even standing in. And it's not just that the models aren't very good. Okay, they're mediocre, alright? Well, all of them except for the diversity hire character. She has the best design in the entire game. And is that a Naruto run? Why is a Norse Viking chick Naruto running? Honestly, nothing seems to fit into this world. It's almost like a Unity game, where they bought the assets, then placed those assets inside their game. I have legitimately played adult games where the assets matched up with the world better. This isn't a joke. A developer developing a game with one hand has done a better job. That's how cheap this game is. Everything looks like an upscaled PS2 game that was released on the PS3. The problem is, it's a PS5 game! This genuinely feels worse than most of the indie games I've played in the last year. I mean, look at the poppin'. The last time I saw shit like this was when I was reviewing Jurassic Park Trespasser, and they were inventing the technology to create poppin' in the first place! And that was 25 years ago! Honestly, the only thing that doesn't feel cheap is the music. And that's because they actually got professional talent. The most controversial thing about Valkyrie Elysium is the combat. And the funny thing is, the combat is fairly good. It's like a Devil May Cry 5 Dante mixed with the Devil May Cry 5V into one character. That's how you play the game. You have multiple weapons, you have multiple spells, multiple skills that you can intermingle into your kit at will. That's not including the fact that you can summon your allies to fight alongside you, giving you buffs. Utilizing elemental weaknesses alongside your weapon weaknesses to kill enemies. Each weapon you pick up has its own unique moveset and proficiencies, so you can decide how you want to destroy these hellspawn utilizing your own playstyle. Then you can upgrade each weapon to unlock more moves that do more damage and allow you to juggle people longer. The problem is the game is cheap. Looking at it, it looks like a generic character action game. It'll never be on the level of a Devil May Cry. The reason why people were so upset is because Valkyrie Profile in and of itself was an incredibly unique game. There was only one title that ever tried to do the same thing, and it was Indivisible. Valkyrie Profile made an RPG into a fighting game using your teammates to fight together, utilizing your entire team to combo enemies and destroy them using magic and combos. Your whole party was used to destroy enemies. There is no other game like Valkyrie Profile, and you took that uniqueness away to make an almost generic character action game. That's what killed the game. That's what stopped the fans from buying it, and it's the best part. Now, while it's genuinely fun to play this game, because of how responsive and fast it is, and it also just feels great to fight alongside your noble on Herion, the biggest problem is everything else I've mentioned already. All of this hinders the game immensely. The level design, the characters, the story drag this game to the abyss of Ragnarok. The side questing and questing, in general, make this game a chore at times. This ends up making Elysium very repetitive, especially when it's 15 to 20 hours long, and the only thing that mixes up the content is platforming and exploration in a dead world. What's fun about exploring an empty forest or an empty city when most of the time all you get is a random healing potion or some upgrade points? Which sounds useful except for the fact that you get them in abundance, making exploration feel like a waste of time, except for that 1 or 2 times you actually find a legendary weapon or spell that you can use. If this game had more money or more time, more creative ideas even, it might have had the chance to hold up against the big players in the industry. But as of right now, it's just a cheap character action game that's utilizing the dead corpse of a fan favorite franchise. Sadly, if you want to play a game that represents Valkyrie Profile, you would have to play the mobile game, especially since Valkyrie Profile has been dead since the PS1, PS2 era. As an idea, it's a legendary concept, but few are foolish enough to try and make it a reality. Even if you had no experience with the Valkyrie Profile series, this would still come off as generic. And if you love the franchise, it is a bastardization of probably one of your favorite franchises. Everything from the original PS1 title, from the artwork to the stories of each and every single character that joins your party, is significantly better than anything that happens in Elysium. But if you're somebody who doesn't care about any of that and just wants to play another character action game, this is something you might enjoy, as long as you don't actually care about everything else, and you've played everything else. This is just another massive bomb that Square Enix has released in the last decade, taking a dead franchise that you enjoyed in your childhood and turning it into a piece of trash that you wouldn't even want to play. The funny thing is, this video was originally supposed to be about 10 different video games, all about the shit games that Square Enix has released in the last decade. But most of them were so bad that I couldn't get past the tutorial. What we're doing now is living through Square Enix's dark years, and this is one of the many in the pile of horrible games that's ruining the company. If you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.